Every story appears ordinary till you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is a story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Hello, welcome to CoreTV Primetime News. I am Frank Komalape, and our major headlines tonight. We'll begin tonight from the Federal Capital Territory, where President Muhammadu Buhari has expressed regret over the inability of some states to pay workers' salaries. The president states this while meeting with staff of the State House at the Aso Rock Villa. President Buhari also reaffirmed the commitment of his administration at free Nigeria from the shackles of corruption. A State House correspondent, Abiola Oluwole, has more on the story.
Workers at the presidential villa welcome President Buhari from his recent 14 days vacation.
The president had gone to the UK to see his doctors on hair infection. Speaking at the brief meeting, President Buhari says his administration is battle-ready to tame corruption, which according to him is a major clock in the way of the nation's progress.
I thank you very much for your loyalty to your country and to this administration. I assure you that I am absolutely dedicated to serving Nigerians and Nigeria. Those who behave themselves, they will never regret it.
However, he expressed regret over the inability of some states to pay workers' salaries.
27 out of the 36 states couldn't pay salaries. This is a disgrace to Nigeria. It's a disgrace. Up to now, some of the states cannot pay salaries.
Issues of fall in oil price, economic diversification, and continuous rise in the exchange rate were also discussed by the president. From the presidential villa in Abuja, Abiola Oluwole reporting for CoreTV News.
And in pursuit of the Buhari presidency focus on technology as a major driver of economic growth, the federal government will be hosting one-day pitch sections in Lagos, Abuja and Port Harcourt with the objective of identifying and selecting some of the best technology innovations that will help Nigeria move forward. In a statement early Wednesday, the pitch event will review the strategic options available to startups and how their technology ideas and innovation can be used as solutions in the Nigerian public and private sectors. The first in the pitch series will hold in Lagos this Thursday, June 24, 2016. The pitch stage of the Aso Villa Demo Day is intended to also engage the representatives from the industry to deliberate on how to diversify the economy by investing in ideas, technology, innovations, and indigenous solutions. And to politics now, the caucus of the People's Democratic Party at the Senate says the party will stop all funds of the cooperative on with the APC-led government if the executive does not stop harassing its members across the country. Resolving after a meeting, the caucus agreed to condemn in totality the plot to remove the leadership of Senate at the National Assembly in general. Our correspondent, Jamila Fegwa, reports.
The People's Democratic Party has been crying foul since the inception of the present administration in 2015. This stems from the arrest of some members of the party who are perceived as enemies of the All Progressives Congress. The matter is now wearing a different look as the tempers are beginning to flare at the way government is handling issues concerning the PDP.
Hiring witch hunt of perceived opposition element in the polity is invitation to anarchy. The war against corruption should not be selective. must be fought with sincerity and not the politics that is now being played with the war against corruption.
The caucus, in its recommendation, argues that the fight against corruption should be total, and if campaign funds are to be probed, it should be across board.
Since the war against corruption has devolved into probing campaign funds, it is our candid opinion that it should be extended to all political parties, including the ruling APC, how their campaigns were funded.
Many are concerned about happenings in the party that seems to be in disarray and pitching it against the resolution of the caucus.
We have made up our mind that these issues are going to be resolved internally. So there is nothing to worry about, no cause for alarm. A party that has chances of returning to government should expect challenges like this.
Government is seriously coming under fire from all quarters, especially with the arraignment of the opposition members and most recently the perceived infringement on the rights of Governor of Ekiti State, Ayodele Fayose. Jamila Fegwa, CoreTV News, Abuja.
And of the allegation of sexual harassment leveled against 3 legislators in the House of Representatives took another twist as one of the lawmakers insists he is innocent. Other lawmakers are also insisting on the innocence of the lawmakers, saying the lecture from the U.S. Embassy is a mere allegation. Correspondent Emmanuel Hejine has more.
One of the lawmakers in the middle of the allegation, in an address to his colleagues in the lower legislative chambers, says the alleged sexual assault is just an attempt to discredit him and his fellow lawmakers. He disclosed that he went on the trip with his wife, just like some other lawmakers did, and asked what time he would have had to indulge in such a despicable act.
Mr. Speaker, let it be a public hearing and investigation where the ambassador, who is going to leave very soon, so it is of the essence, so time is really of the essence, to come and provide Nigeria with the evidence that they claim they have.
Lawmakers in the House are expressing surprise at the allegation, but also caution that the issue should not be blown out of proportion, while insisting that the lawmakers are presumed innocent until the outcome of the investigative panel proves otherwise.
I have absolutely no doubt, Mr. Speaker, sir, that the committee which you have set up shall, as the House is wont to do, carry out the investigations in public in such a way as does not jeopardize this relationship.
Two people cannot be lying at the same time. So I don't want to draw unnecessary conclusions. The House committee will swing into action. We will get to the bottom of it. The American system is a very developed system. They will make those facts available to us. And I pray to God, that let's get to the bottom of it before we speak.
The Speaker also cautioned everyone in similar vein, advising that though not only to the lawmakers as ambassadors of the country, but to the entire nation.
Any such allegation of impropriety against a member or members is automatically referred to the Committee on Ethics, and I'd added the Committee on Foreign Relations to take charge of this matter and investigate it thoroughly.
The House, however, suspended any further discussion on the matter, pending the outcome of the report of the investigative panel. Emmanuel Ahijene, CoreTV News, Abuja.
A federal high court sitting in Abuja has ordered the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission to pay the sum of 12.5 million naira to Senator Abdulaziz Nyako for freezing his bank account without a valid court order. Justice Gabriel Kolawole made the order while delivering a judgment on a fundamental rights enforcement suit filed by the senator challenging the FCC right to freeze his account since July 7, 2014. The report now.
While delivering judgment on the suit filed by the senator demanding 10 million naira compensation from the EFCC for the alleged offense, Justice Gabriel Kolawole did not mince words as he reprimanded the anti-graft agency for carrying out actions outside its statutory powers. The judge held that the EFCC lacks the power to freeze the suspect's bank account without obtaining court order and consequently made an order for the commission to pay 12.5 million naira to serve as a warning. Justice Kolawole also faulted the remand order often obtained from the magistrate court by the EFCC to detain their suspect beyond the 48 hours that is constitutionally allowed. Senator Nyaku, along with his father, who served as former governor of the Adamawa State, and others are being prosecuted by the EFCC at the Federal High Court Abuja for an alleged money laundering to the tune of 28 billion naira belonging to the state. Basil Okafor, CoreTV News, Abuja.
Away from there now, Ekiti State Governor Ayodele Fauci has been opening up on how his election was funded 2 years ago. The governor, in a statement by his chief press secretary, Idowu Adelusi, disclosed that he got the funds from Zenith Bank PLC and a few other associates. Governor Fauci also states that he has no financial transaction whatsoever with the office of the National Security Advisor under Colonel Sambo Dasuki and former Minister of State for Defense, Senator Musili Obanikoro, either by cash, check, or electronic transfer. In a chat with his special assistant on new media, Larry Olainka, Fauci restated his resolve to release the names of persons who in one or another contributed to his election campaign coffers.
Well, the governor has just read the public part one of what happened. You see, in this country, when people take action yesterday, and because of intimidation, because of harassment, because of need to also sustain their business and all that, they begin to deny what they did yesterday. It will be important to set the record straight. The governor has said what happened. He has said that his election was majorly funded by Zenith Bank. It is now Zenith Bank to come out and either deny or accept that the bank actually funded this election. And what the governor has also said is that he did not receive money from Dasuki or from anybody in the government. And he did not receive money from Dasuki. He did not receive money from anybody. So whoever that is linking him with that is only trying to play politics, and this time it will not fly. EFCC is dragging Zenith Bank. You go and read reports in the papers today. I think in the Nation and that report is almost the same word. And when we are now in a country where people are tried in the media, investigation is going on, and you now find out that people now get details of what was purportedly revealed to the EFCC. And people will now get started. Two people will report it the same way. As if one reporter wrote the two stories. So EFCC is the one dragging any bank into this, and you don't also expect the governor not to defend himself. What is the morality behind that benefactor now also denying that it played that role of a benefactor 2 years ago? What is the morality? What is the morality of the EFCC intimidating everybody in Nigeria, intimidating judges, intimidating journalists, intimidating even bank owners to deny their friends, to deny their customers, to deny people that they assisted in the past? What is the morality? What is the morality in the EFCC going about looking for how PDP funded the election and keeping silent on how APC funded the election? In Ekiti, 1.5 billion naira was donated to Buhari's campaign by the former governor Kauti. Is CSD unaware of that? Is CSD unaware of the $60 million donated by Sahara Energy to APC campaign? Is CSD unaware of money donated by MH to APC campaign? Nigeria must know, because they have taken it to the public domain. Issues like this should be left for the court to decide. But the style of this government in power is to first convict you in the court of public opinion. So, and if you don't want to be so confident in the court of public opinion, you have to also lay the facts bare, as the governor has done. You should ask the people, you should ask the federal government. You should ask the federal. Nigeria has more than enough problems. We are facing Boko Haram. We are facing Fulani men. We are facing the Avengers. We are facing the Biafra people. We are facing a whole lot of problems. Even the president is facing health problems. So why do we need to create more problems? You are fighting them in the National Assembly. You want the Senate President jail. You want the Deputy Senate President jail. You are fighting governors. You are fighting everybody in Nigeria. So Nigerians should plead with President Buhari not to destroy this country.
News. Still to come on our bulletins tonight, Kaduna State government sets up a committee to check proliferation of light firearms. We'll give you details after this timeout. Join us again.
Every day, every hour, and every minute, news break in Nigeria. Things happen so fast, it's most times difficult to track and comprehend them. But that's what we do right here on Digi360. 2015, would you want to come back again?
It's like asking Jesus Christ if he knew he was going to die, will you want to come back as the savior of the world again?
We do not just help you track the stories, we break them down, explore all the angles, analyze the issues so that you can fully comprehend the stories and use them to make the right decisions.
If you just join us, you're watching CoreTV Primetime News, broadcasting live from our Lagos studio. A reminder of our top stories. We do want to remind you that all our top stories can be found on our social media platforms. It's facebook.com/CoreTV News. You can also follow at CoreTV News Nigeria. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/CoreTV. Leave a space, then news. And now the Kwara State Command of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps has paraded two suspects allegedly involved in money doubling fraud and attempt to defraud a woman of nearly 700,000 naira. Correspondent Oyedeji Lukman has more.
Parading the two suspects, the state commandant of the Corps, Federal Wumi, said the suspects firstly collected over 100,000 naira from a businesswoman at Adete in Ilorin West local government with intent to use the money to buy a certain chemical to double the money. Luck, however, ran against them when they came to collect the balance of 500,000 naira before the woman realized that she had been duped and alerted the Corps. This therefore led to the arrest of two men who gave fake names and state of origin to the woman.
We are here to protect life and property. It is our civic responsibility to protect the people of Kwara State. And that's why we say this kind of thing, the people must hear it. They must know what crime that is going on in the state so that people will be very careful on the people they are interacting with.
The two men confessed to the crime in an interview and pleaded for leniency, claiming to be doing it for the first time.
One of him brother called me that I should assisted him, so immediately he called me. He said he's going to send somebody to me. So after the next day, he now sent somebody to me to assist him. I now collect the money, go there, involving a civil defense corps officer.
The commandant has warned people to always be careful of whom they deal with and to always be security conscious.
And now the Kaduna State government, Northwest Nigeria, has set up a committee to check the proliferation of light firearms and its bid to check the incidence of violent crimes in the state. The state's executive council says it is committed in its resolve to recover every single small arm and the possession of criminal elements. What has therefore made it imperative to set up the committee to enable it achieve that.
Addressing journalists at the State House in Kaduna, the State's Commissioner of Justice gives further details on the committee's terms of reference and its membership.
A committee which will comprise of members of the Ministry of Justice, the security agencies, community leaders and representatives. to conduct a disarmament program.
The disarmament program, which is expected to span a period of 4 months, will begin sometime in July. The essence is to engage communities in government effort to disarm criminals in the state. The commissioner further speaks on government efforts to offer amnesty to people in possession of arms. She says the exercise is to come in various stages, including amnesty and rehabilitation of those who hand in their weapons voluntarily.
The program, there will be the components of counseling engagement, especially, of course, for those that will voluntarily come forward to surrender their weapons.
The Kaduna state government also assured members of the public of its readiness to crush out criminals in the state.
Still elsewhere in Kaduna, the state government says all arrangements have been made to distribute fertilizer to the 23 local governments of the state. The State Commissioner for Agriculture and Forestry, Manzo Megiri, stated this shortly after the State Executive Council meeting at Sakashim Ibrahim House, Kaduna. Away from there now, the Kaduna state government is reiterating its commitment to improving the welfare of teachers and the state and assures that the required attention will be given to the education sector. Commissioner for Local Government Affairs gave the assurance at a media briefing held at the Government House in Kaduna. The commissioner says the state government has directed all the 23 local governments in the state to pay their teachers' salaries for the month of June, adding that it is the duty of the local government to pay their teachers' salaries.
Each local government will pay for its teachers within this week, and then after that they will give the state government a returns on how the payment went. Thereafter, another release of funds will be made to them to pay for the local government staff.
He assures the teachers that due attention will be given to strengthening their welfare in the state.
As you are aware, the allocation is dwindling, gradually falling. What we got in April was about 2.1 billion. In May, it was 2 billion. And only God knows what will happen this June.
Teaching is a noble profession that should be encouraged and accorded the attention it requires, he reiterates. And now, what is left of the tanker involved in an accident Tuesday night at Magboro area of Ogun State has been removed. The tanker laden with petrol had hit a rock in its bed to avoid a reckless commercial box driver, lost control and caught fire, immediately killing no fewer than 2 people and injuring many more. Our correspondent Akiobake reports.
Officials of the Federal Road Safety Corps, State Fire Service and other concerned agencies putting heads together to control traffic, onlookers, as well as remove the burnt tank and other vehicles affected amidst traffic gridlock on both sides of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway from Beggar End all the way to the Shagamu interchange.
Just yesterday around 8:30, I just sit down for my shop. I just see this tank, I just come hit one stove near my shop. We can reach around 10:30. Those people just opened the compartment. This fire just blew once.
This is one of the affected victims of the tanker fire. Officials put the toll at 2 deaths. Residents say the figures are higher.
I just see one bus want to escape and the thing just hit this stone. As he hit this stone, the trailer just, the face just turned like this and the trailer just fall. That's why some people just start coming out. Use buckets, drum, before the thing just catch fire.
Like they reach almost 30 for those tanker places where then they fish the fuel.
Scooping petroleum products from a fallen truck has become a regular act in Nigeria, of which 9 in 10 cases result in fatality.
After hours of battling, finally the roads have been cleared. Vehicular movement is moving slow but steadily. And one major advice is going out to every Nigerian and indeed every single individual: safety first. If such situations happen as a result a tanker falling down, one has to avoid going near it to scoop either petrol or diesel so as to avoid loss of lives and property. One can only hope that Nigerians will listen first before doing such things. Akin Obake, CoreTV News, Ogun State.
A very tragic situation there. Let's move away from there now. Women across Nigeria, irrespective of their religious or ethnic leanings, have the ability to function well socio-politically. Hence, the call to give them support in governance at a forum in Ibadan, Abuja rather. Women's Situations Room Nigeria, a non-governmental organization, wants all stakeholders to break the gap of inequality by backing women in leadership positions, especially politics. A correspondent, Anita Patrick, reports.
The National Network Coordinator of West African Network for Peace Building Nigeria highlights the challenges women encounter in the political scene and calls for equal opportunities in the forthcoming Edo gubernatorial elections.
There are a lot of challenges to women that are facing women in reducing these adverse conditions, the risk, the hazards. A lot of women are afraid.
The group, still on enlightenment of how to enhance women empowerment politically through its media outreach, says programs have been put in place for women at all levels in the 36 states across the 6 geopolitical zones to enhance women participation. The National Coordinator for Women's Situation Room Nigeria says there are strategies put in place by the group to aid building capacity for women and ensure active roles in leadership.
Indeed, the African Union has recommended the Women's Situation Room as a best practice for promoting women's participation in the political process. But then the Women's Situation Room in Nigeria, the first ever Women's Situation Room, started last year.
Women's Situation Room Nigeria is appealing to stakeholders at all levels, including men, with the aid of newly launched app to hasten women in the present administration in leadership roles. Anita Patrick, CoreTV News, Abuja.
Now, cassava has been identified as one of the major crops that can generate revenue and create employment opportunities for many in the face of the dwindling economy of the nation. This view is expressed by some stakeholders in Taraba State on the government's plan to diversify the economy of the country through agriculture. Correspondent Udwak Godwin has more.
Farming had in the past remained Nigeria's main source of revenue generation, especially with the production of major crops such as groundnuts, cocoa, rubber, and cassava, among others. With the discovery of petroleum, Nigeria shifted its attention to depending largely on exporting crude oil as major source of revenue. As oil prices continue to fall at the international market, governments at all levels are now diversifying their economy through agriculture with a view to boosting revenue generation.
Under proper management, cassava can offset a lot of economy of Nigeria. We will be able to travel because engaging on the applicant, with all this production of the mini student coming from the school, they will be encouraged.
In fact, I'm calling on the government of Taraba State to intervene. They should create farm settlement for our youth. They should diversify the area. Let the government go into agriculture by providing the necessary place.
Cassava as one of the major crops, experts say, if fully supported, has the capability of generating more revenue to the government, as well as providing job opportunities for the teeming unemployed members of the country, thereby reducing over-dependence on government.
We want the government to assist the farmers, especially in the farm inputs. There are some certain new products of cassava, like 419, we have 516 and 581.
You make flour out of this cassava. People can eat, and a lot of revenue will come out of it. We can export. Because I recall very well that traders from Kano, Katsina, come in here to buy our flour. And before you go in there, they've already booked it.
They maintained that if government at all levels supports the farming of this crop with the necessary farm inputs, it will aid to boost production and earnings.
And now this week's launch of foreign exchange interbank market by the central bank, which by design will have commercial banks as major traders, is being closely monitored by economists. Analysts believe the role of both the central bank and commercial banks should be to pay attention to the appreciation of the naira and solely to ensure that the Nigerian currency is highly valued. Our
The
correspondent
debate over the interbank forex trading and the Naira devaluation, which commenced on Monday, according to the CBN governor, Godwin Emefiele, is gaining momentum. Analysts believe that the attraction for foreign exchange is a deviation to the position of the Naira in the interbank market.
One single measure of checking how efficient a bank or a financial institution is to look at its cost to income ratio. That's taking their operating expenses, dividing it by their total revenue. If a bank is able to achieve 55% or 60% of that, you say they're very efficient.
The process of creating a market mechanism for the exchange of Naira and dollar is skewed in favor of the dollar by the same CBN that has the responsibility for defending the Naira.
With the demand for the dollar and the setup of a trading unit, financial experts believe the move to devaluate the Naira should not be motivated by the demand and supply for forex. Victoria Solomon, CoreTV News, Lagos.
You're still watching CoreTV News. We'll take another break now and we'll come back. We'll bring you stories in sport and outside Nigeria. Stay with us.
With over 7 billion of world population and still counting, the world needs to hear you now than ever. Whatever your ministry or vision is, Gospel Africa will help get you there faster than you think possible. For inquiries and participation, contact 009 503 3859 or 0812 076 0011 or visit www.gospelafricang.com. Gospel Africa, your #1 media solutions for the church today. Gospel Africa, showing on this station at this time.
And outside Nigeria now, Congolese presidential hopeful Moise Katumbi has been sentenced in absentia to 36 months in prison. The wealthy businessman who owns one of Africa's biggest football clubs is currently out of Democratic Republic Congo seeking medical treatment. The 51-year-old was found guilty of illegally selling a property in Lubumbashi, his eastern power base. The court in Lubumbashi and the Republic of Congo's second city also fined the football tycoon $6 million for illegally selling the property which a Greek citizen claimed belonged to his family. At the meantime, Joseph Kabila, who has been in power since 2001, is expected to step down in December constitutionally, even as political tension grows as there remain uncertainties to him relinquishing power. And now fierce clashes between Libyan forces and Islamic State of Iraq and Levant in Sirte, ISIS-only stronghold in the country, have left at least 36 dead and almost 150 wounded. The clash resulted in one of the heaviest tolls in the month-long campaign by the pro-government coalition of armed groups trying to retake the city from ISIS fighters. ISIS had been fighting hard to defend the shrinking territory it still controls and the residential center of Sirte. And our politicians in the United Kingdom are making their final pitch for votes on the last day of campaigning before the EU referendum. Prime Minister David Cameron, Jeremy Corbyn and Tim Farron are addressing rallies arguing the UK will be better off and safer with a Remain vote in Thursday poll. More than 46 million people are eligible to vote in the referendum. The UK public is being asked to choose whether the United Kingdom should stay in the European Union or live in the first vote of the UK's links with the euro for more than 40 years. The 4-month campaign comes to a close, and today which campaigners making a last-minute appeal to undecided voters, emphasizing their main argument and encouraging their supporters to turn out to vote. And now Japan has warned North Korea says missiles poses a serious threat after the country carried out new tests in defiance of international sanctions. North Korea launched 2 missiles within hours of each other, with one flying about 400 kilometers, reaching an altitude of 1,000 kilometers. A confirmed successful test will mark a step forward for North Korea after 4 failed launches in recent months. South Korea, the US, and NATO have also expressed alarm over the latest text. Both launches are to have been intermediate range student missiles whose range of about 3,000 kilometers, enough to hit South Korea and Japan and the U.S. territory of Guam in the Western Pacific. And now India has successfully launched a rocket carrying a record of 20 satellites as its space agency looks to grab a large slice of the lucrative commercial space market. The rocket carries the highest ever number of satellites on a single Indian mission and the third highest in history, a blast state off from the southern spaceport of Sriharikota, carrying satellites from the US, Germany, Canada, and Indonesia. Most of the satellites will enter orbit to observe and measure the Earth's atmosphere, while one of the aims to provide service for amateur radio operators. Let's take a look at some sports stories now.
Power style, and that's what he delivered.
And I'm in sports stories to now. Portugal played out pulsating 3-3 draw with Hungary in the final Group F game at Euro 2016 on Wednesday, as Cristiano Ronaldo became the first player to score in 4 European Championship finals. Much discourse in the build-up to the final Group F encounter, and Lyon on Wednesday having blasted Iceland's small mentality and then missed a penalty, and the goalless draw with Austria. The Real Madrid superstar scored twice to ensure his side took a point from a pulsating encounter, and they will now face Croatia in the knockout round after Iceland's win. Earlier in the first half, Zoltan, Gera and Nani had exchanged goals to send the teams into the internal level at 1-1. Another deflected Zuzaka's strike then put Hungary in control once again in the 47th minute before Ronaldo finally took center stage. The Portugal captain latched on to João Mario's ball to produce his landmark record-breaking finish before thumping a header home just past the hour mark to seal 3-3 draw. And now Argentina captain Lionel Messi overtook Gabriel Batistuta as the country's all-time top goal scorer on Wednesday morning as they defeated host United States 4-0 in the Copa America semi-final. A 5-time World Player of the Year set up Ezequiel Lavezzi's opening goal in the 3rd minute for Argentina's first goal, then scored a brilliant free kick to break Argentina's career scoring record and assisted on the final goal. After Messi doubled the lead in the 32nd minute with 55 international goal, his tournament leading fifth Gonzalo Higuain quickly ended a U.S. comeback hopes when he put the rebound of his initial shot past goalkeeper Brad Guzan at the 50th minute. Higuain scored from a Messi pass in the 86th minute as well, as Argentina will seek a first major title since 1993 Copa and the first since Messi's debut in 2005 when they played Chile or Colombia on Sunday in East Rotano, New Jersey. In golf now, golf world number 4, Rory McIlroy has pulled out of the Olympic Games in Rio because of concerns about the Zika virus infection. In a statement issued, McIlroy states that he is unwilling to take the risk, even though the risk of infection from the Zika virus has been considered low. Earlier this month, 4-time major winner McIlroy, who was set to represent Ireland in Rio, said his concerns over the virus has eased. World number 4, McIlroy's decision is to a blow to a sport which will be making a return to the Olympics after a 112-year absence. A number of top golfing stars, including major winners Adam Scott, Vijay Sain, and Australia's Mark Lesham, have already pulled out of the games because of the Zika issue for shuttling and family reasons. Well, and that's it with sports, and of course with primetime news tonight. Just before we go, a recap of our major headline now. Well, and that's how it's been tonight. Thank you for sharing your evening with us. I am Frank Komalape on behalf of our entire news production crew. Have a good night rest.